Whenever you think in terms of the age of the Earth, two different concepts come along. Whether the Earth was old as millions and more, or more than kind of young ages, 6,000 ish. And I think the only place where you could find a credible discourse of this issue is not with the carbon dating, but with the scriptures. In high school, when we were studying the age of the world-ish, we talked about creation and so on. Teacher mentioned the carbon dating, and they're saying that carbon depreciates at a certain rate over a certain time, so that maybe in a million years it will go to a certain phase. And they're discovering that that phase has been reached, and therefore they conclude that it's so long. And right away, I realized that it's not possible for them to do that. They weren't around when the atoms were created, the carbon, and they don't know what state it's at. And they're trying to tell me that they have the technology to be able to discern such a minute precision sort of a criteria. Anyway, the scripture says, in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Now, this is Hebrew. It's, the Genesis was written in Hebrew. Moses wrote it, and I don't have a Hebrew Bible. And when I check Strong's Hebrew and Greek, it doesn't give much details. However, English, which is the King James Version language, is not so precise, because we in English we'll talk of was and it means so many things. However, when we look at the Spanish, it gives a little difference which we could consider and see if it helps us out here. Now, the Spanish Bible says, "En el principio creó Dios los cielos y la tierra. Y la tierra estaba sin orden y vacía, y las tinieblas cubrían la superficie del abismo, y el Espíritu de Dios se movía sobre la superficie de las aguas. Entonces Dios, sea la luz, y hubo luz." Now, it is saying that in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. But in Spanish, the past, not the perfect past, but the present past, there are two different tenses. There is the preterite tense and there's the imperfect tense. And in this first verse, it says, en el principio creó Dios los cielos y la tierra. They're using creo, which is the preterite, because the preterite distinguishes an action when it starts and when it ends. For example, I said I drove to work today. You'll use the preterite there because you started maybe at a certain time and all that, and then it ended when you reached to work at another time. That's clear. But the imperfect is used in cases where there's not a definite time or appreciation of the beginning of an action, and it might not have been completed, or it had been completed without you recognizing it or whatever. So if I said something like, I speak English, I'll have to use the imperfect because I don't even know when I started to speak English. And I'm not finished because I'm not dead. So that in the second verse when it says, "Y la tierra estaba sin orden y vacía," estaba is the imperfect of estar, which is a physical being, or a condition. Well, let me put it this way again. The Spaniards again have two different verbs for being. In English we say, "I am here," "he is there," "the car is there," "the house is there," everything is there. Alright, but the Spaniards would use estar and ser. Now, estar speaks to 6 different criteria, and all the others will fit in with Ser. And so, since this one is short, S star deals with like health, como está, position, estoy en casa, I'm at home. Also deals with health. So we're saying that health, location, changing condition and mood. So I say estoy enfermo, I'm sick, or estoy contento, or tranquilo. So I'm saying I'm tranquil, I'm calm, and so on. And then it also speaks to 2 more, tastes and appearance. So you'll say la sopa, esto, esta, sabroso, delicioso, caliente, or whatever. So, and then of course you might want to say lady, your esta más bonita, or bonita, beautiful, greatly beautiful, or bonitisma, whatever. But the ser would be used in cases like identification. I'm an American, I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat. I was born in Guyana. I am Guyanese, or esto, was it soy Guyanese, whatever, or Puerto Rican, or and so on. So that by using the word the estaba, it is saying that we don't know how long this thing has been. We don't know when it started, though it ended because creation has ended. But they decided to use that, which gives the impression as if the earth had been created and it was there for a while, and at this point there was nothing, so it's still in the imperfect. And the English uses the word and the earth was without form or void, and they're saying y la tierra, same thing. But then we go on to the 3rd verse. Entonces Dios sea la luz y hubo la luz, and God said, the English would say. But it's not as the 2nd verse which says y la tierra estaba, and the English saying and the earth was. This is saying entonces, and the English is saying and God said, but they're using entonces. Now entonces, it speaks to a variety of situations. For example, entonces it would be used to like then, some English synonyms, well then, and so at that time. So that it gives the impression like something is different here. It's not as the English tries to put it over. However, if it is that the earth was created a long time ago and then it became organized, then it will say that, okay, when people are saying it's many millions of years old, or it's longer than 6,000, then perhaps it's understandable, because we don't know how long the earth, God had created things and so forth, so it's probably true. And then now when he says that I decided to organize it, then we could say we start counting and come to the young age. But I think the bottom line here though is this, with this whole debate between the two, because I still believe that both were they happened very rapidly, and I'll explain that. But individuals talk to the long earth, and I think Hindus and others are saying that Hinduism and Hindus were before Christians and all that stuff, so that there had been people existing, then God came on and did this thing over here. So yeah, this thing happened 6,000 years ago, but Hindus and all were long before that, and no humans were on earth. You see, we got to go back to remember that why humans were created in the first place. In heaven, we had this controversy between Jesus or Christ, the Messiah and whatever. He was the creator. He created the angels and he created the whole world and all that stuff. And so the devil, or Satan as he was called, or Lucifer as he was called then, you're always trying to play political and trying to, get the position that Christ has and the whole 9 yards. So he was cast out, he wept, he went back, cast out, went back. Finally, a third of the angels were cast out with him. But in the first instance, it might have been half the angels that went with him. It might have been 3/4, it might have been many more. But when he went back, some might have said, you know what, we're not sure of this position. Let us stay out of this. And so eventually, though, a third then were cast out. So God decided that he's going to replace those angels, a third of the host that are, banished with Satan. He's going to, replace them. And he created man a little lower than the angels, which means that if man had passed the test of not eating that fruit, then they would have become angels either after the number is reached or immediately, and then continue to make children that are, angels. No, I don't think so. Maybe eventually after the numbers reach, then maybe they would have become angels. And so humans now are saying that, look, we see this planet out here 600 light years away, and it has moon and has all that stuff around the sun and all that stuff. So, we could colonize it. Well, no, it wasn't like that. This is why I think it wasn't like that. Because as he had done all the creation he wanted, and so after man sinned, he said, well, I have to go and get these people to replace them. So I think he created the world, and then he created, the moon and the sun we know of, and it seems as if he also created the faraway planets, or no, they would have been already there, but he might have created the solar system with the various other planets that are close by, if they all affect us here. But the stars and so forth, I think maybe he allowed the light to come on real quick, because perhaps it might not have been 600 light years since he created the whole world before, and the lights hadn't reached us yet to this part where he created Earth. So he just commanded and it came on straight at nights, and so forth. So I think that we can't colonize nothing. And though these planets look close, he came in and he created this environment here. So there's this big difference. So maybe the ancient, long, millennia Earth might be true, because the text seems to give a pause between, how long that pause with. And on the other hand, it could have been that all were done, very rapidly, in 6,000 years ago. So it doesn't matter, it seems, except you want to think that there was other people before and so forth. But that's the way I would want to look at it. If you have any different opinion, let me know, but this is how I see it.